Have you ever noticed how we carry invisible things? They are unfulfilled expectations, people who left, dreams that never came true. We carry all of this on our backs, without even realizing the weight it represents. There's an ancient wisdom that few modern men know, the art of letting go. It's not about giving up or being weak. It's about understanding that holding on to what's already gone is like trying to hold water in your hands. This video is an invitation for you to discover the profound benefits of releasing what cannot be changed. I imagine you've felt this before, that sensation of carrying an invisible weight everywhere you go. It's as if there were a transparent backpack on your back, filled with things no one else can see, but that you feel with every step. We cling to everything. To the ex-girlfriend who left us 2 years ago, but who we still revisit in old photos. To the job we lost that we considered perfect. To that youthful dream that didn't work out. Even to the version of ourselves that we no longer are. What we carry is subtle. It doesn't come screaming, announcing its presence. It infiltrates slowly, like a fine mist that gradually fogs our vision of reality. We begin to live not in the world as it is, but in the world as we wish it were. Each unfulfilled expectation is an invisible rope. Each person we loved and lost becomes an anchor that prevents us from sailing to new waters. This is how we create our own prison, made not of iron, but of memories and unrealized desires. The cruelest part is that this convinces us it's protecting us. If I don't let go, we think, at least I still have something. But having what's already gone is having nothing. It's just feeding ghosts that drain our real energy. Have you ever noticed how we waste energy trying to command things completely beyond our reach? It's like trying to drive a car holding only the steering wheel, with no engine, no fuel, no road. Even so, we insist. We believe we can make that relationship work by ourselves. That if we try one more time, that person will come back. That if we love hard enough, they won't leave. That if we work hard enough, recognition will come. But life doesn't work that way. There's a force much greater than our individual will operating in the world. People make their choices. Circumstances change. Time passes. And we, small before this immensity, insist on believing we run the show. This insistence on dominating the untamable is an inexhaustible source of suffering. Every time reality doesn't bend to our desires, we feel anger, frustration, disappointment. It's as if we were constantly fighting with life, demanding it be different from what it is. What few realize is that this fight is always lost before it even begins. Not because we're weak or incapable, but because we're fighting something beyond our direct influence. It's a war against the wind. You can scream, you can struggle, but the wind will continue being wind. The ancient Chinese sages had a word for this: Wu Wei. It's not passivity, as many think. It's the art of acting without forcing, of flowing with the natural current of life instead of swimming against it. It's like a tree that bends with strong wind. It's not weak, it's wise. Wu Wei is understanding that there's a natural rhythm to all things. Relationships have their cycles. Jobs have their phases. Even our own personality goes through transformations. When we try to force these rhythms to be different, we create friction. When we flow with them, we find surprising ease. Think of a river. It doesn't try to be faster than it is. It doesn't fight with the rocks in its path. It simply flows, finding the path of least resistance. And look at the power a river has. It shapes mountains, creates valleys, transforms entire landscapes. All of this without effort. The same principle applies to our emotional life. When we stop forcing things to happen our way, we discover a wisdom that goes far beyond our limited understanding. It's as if life knew what it was doing, even when we don't know. This doesn't mean being passive or letting everything happen without doing anything. It means choosing our battles wisely, applying our energy where it can really make a difference, and accepting with serenity what's beyond our reach. It's the difference between pushing a door that opens inward and simply pulling it. There's a truth our modern mind resists. Nothing lasts forever. Your most beautiful relationship will end. Your dream job won't exist one day. Even you, as you are today, will be different in a few years. This isn't a flaw of the universe. It's its fundamental characteristic. It's what allows flowers to bloom, wounds to heal, bad days to pass. If everything were permanent, we'd be stuck in the worst moment we ever lived. Our mind has difficulty with this truth. We want good moments to last forever, and bad ones to pass immediately. We create the fantasy that we can make some things last if we hold on tight enough. It's like trying to hold a handful of sand. The tighter we squeeze, the more escapes between our fingers. When we truly understand that everything changes, something transforms within us. It's not sadness or despair. It's a kind of deep relief. We realize we don't need to carry the weight of our experiences forever. The painful breakup isn't permanent. The difficult phase at work isn't permanent. Even our deepest pain isn't permanent. This understanding brings us unexpected freedom. We can live each moment more intensely precisely because we know it won't return. We can love without desperation because we understand that true love doesn't depend on duration. Pushing a beach ball underwater is useless. The more force, the more it resists. This is how emotional resistance works. When something painful happens, a loss, a rejection, a failure, our first instinct is to resist. This shouldn't be happening, we think. It's not fair. I don't accept this. And the more we resist, the more the pain intensifies. Resistance has a cruel side effect. It prolongs suffering. When we fight against a painful reality, we're not just living the original pain. We're creating additional pain, which is the pain of resistance. It's as if we were being hurt twice, by the situation itself and by our refusal to accept it. Imagine you're in a strong water current. If you try to swim against it, you'll tire quickly and might even drown. But if you relax and let the current carry you, you'll discover it will eventually take you to a safe shore. Resistance consumes energy that could be used to adapt and find solutions. When we stop fighting against what's already reality, when we accept that some things simply happened, we experience immediate relief. The energy that was being spent on resistance becomes free to be used in reconstruction, healing, moving forward. There's a type of peace that few men know, the peace that comes from not wanting. It's not the peace of conquest, the one we feel when we finally get something we desired. It's a much deeper peace, the peace of not needing things to be different from what they are. When we stop forcing results, something magical happens. Life naturally reorganizes itself. It's as if our constant interference was actually what was disturbing the natural flow of events. When we step aside, we leave space for unexpected solutions to appear. This doesn't mean stopping having goals or dreams. It means working toward what we want without desperately clinging to results. It's the difference between planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it's growing, and planting the seed, watering it, and trusting the natural process. Not wanting is especially powerful in relationships. When we stop desperately wanting a person to be different from what they are, we create space for them to reveal themselves authentically. And sometimes we discover the real person is much more interesting than our idealized version of them. What remains when we stop forcing is only what is genuinely true. The people who really care about us stay. Projects that make sense prosper. Paths that are ours open up. It's as if life had its own wisdom, much greater than our limited plans. Looking back is a modern addiction. We do it constantly, reviewing conversations that already happened, imagining how we could have acted differently, reliving moments that are gone forever. It's like driving, looking only in the rearview mirror. You might see where you've been, but you'll end up crashing into what's in front of you. The past has a dangerous magnetism. It offers us the illusion of control. If I could go back, I'd do it differently. But this illusion steals the only real thing we have, the present moment. Every minute spent reliving what's already past is a minute stolen from what can still be built. Not looking back isn't forgetting, but stopping living there. It means extracting the necessary lessons and then moving forward, carrying only the wisdom, not the weight. It's like picking fruit from a tree without trying to carry the entire tree. There's a fundamental difference between remembering and reliving. Remembering is natural, healthy, part of who we are. Reliving is problematic. It's when we emotionally transport ourselves to a time that no longer exists, wasting precious emotional energy on something that can no longer be changed. When you stop looking back, something interesting happens. You begin to see the horizon. You notice possibilities you didn't see before, because your eyes were too busy with what had already passed. The future isn't just an extension of the past. It's completely new territory, full of potentials you can't even imagine. The lightness that emerges when we let go is almost physical. It's as if we had carried a heavy backpack for so long that we forgot what it's like to walk without it. Suddenly, we take the weight off our backs and rediscover a freedom of movement we hadn't felt in years. Mentally, letting go brings impressive clarity. When we stop spending energy trying to control the uncontrollable, the mind becomes free to focus on what really matters. It's like cleaning a table full of useless objects. Suddenly there's space to work, create, think with organization. Emotions, once like devastating tsunamis, become waves that come and go. We feel sadness, but don't drown in it. We feel anger, but aren't consumed by it. We feel joy, but don't despair trying to hold it forever. This is true emotional stability. Relationships also change surprisingly. When we stop demanding people be something they're not, they feel free to be authentic. Ironically, when we stop clinging to people, they tend to get closer. There's also a rarely mentioned benefit. Letting go releases creativity. When we're not stuck to old ways of thinking and living, our mind opens to new possibilities. Unexpected solutions arise because we're no longer limited by old patterns. This is mental freedom. Letting go isn't losing. It's courage. Our culture insists on saying that giving up is weakness, that we should fight to the end, insist, never retreat. But this mentality can become a prison. There are moments when true strength lies precisely in letting go. Letting go doesn't mean failure. It means consciously choosing where to invest our limited energy. It means recognizing that some battles simply aren't worth the wear. Not out of cowardice, but out of wisdom. An experienced warrior knows when to fight and when to retreat. In emotional life, retreating can be the greatest advance. When we free ourselves from a relationship that doesn't work, we don't lose love. We create space for true love to emerge. When we leave behind a project that no longer makes sense, we don't give up on dreams. We open space for dreams more aligned with who we've become. Often, what traps us are old versions of ourselves. The job we hate, but keep because we've already invested too much in it. The person who no longer does us good, but who we insist on out of fear of throwing away the history. This isn't loyalty, it's fear. True strength lies in disappointing the old version of yourself, in accepting that some dreams were important, but no longer are, in recognizing that some people were fundamental at another time, but now follow another path. This isn't failure, it's evolution. The emptiness that arises when we let go has a bad reputation. We lose something, a relationship, a job, a certainty, and we want to fill it quickly, as if we couldn't bear the blank space. But emptiness isn't a black hole. It's fertile ground where the new can be born. Think of a house cluttered with old objects. There's no space for the new while we don't get rid of what no longer serves. Emotional life works the same way. Only when we create internal space can truly meaningful experiences and people enter. This emptiness is active, not passive. It's like a plowed field, ready to receive new seeds. When we let go of relationships that no longer nourish us, we open space for those who really understand us. When we abandon projects that lost meaning, we free energy to discover our true vocation. This space also reconnects us with who we are. When we're surrounded by commitments, people and expectations we didn't choose, we lose internal listening. Emptiness is like silence in music. It's in it that we hear our truest voice. And it's precisely in these moments that the best opportunities appear. When we're not clinging to what we know, we notice trails we had never noticed before. Emptiness is, actually, pure potential. There's only one place where life really happens, here and now. Everything else, the past that's already gone, and the future that hasn't arrived yet, exists only as thought. Yet we spend most of our time trapped in these imaginary places, wasting the only real moment we have. The present isn't just a beautiful idea. It's the only space of true power. In the past, nothing can be changed. In the future, nothing can be done yet. But now, in this instant, you can choose how to react, how to feel, and what direction to take. When we stop mentally reliving past experiences, we free up immense energy for the present moment. It's impressive how much emotional strength we waste reviewing old conversations, trying to understand situations that may never have an answer. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the past or future. It means giving each one adequate weight. The past serves to learn, not to live in. The future serves to give us direction, not to generate anxiety. The present is where we build, where we love, where we really live. The wisdom of now also reveals that each moment is complete by itself. We don't need to resolve all old problems to live fully, nor be certain of all future details to act with confidence. Life is made moment by moment, and each moment carries unique opportunities that won't return. Letting go may seem abstract until you practice it in concrete gestures. Start small. Empty that drawer full of objects you keep, just in case. This simple physical act prepares the mind for greater liberations. In relationships, this can mean stopping trying to change those who don't want to change, learning to say no to invitations that drain your energy, having honest conversations about bonds that exist only out of habit, without true connection. At work, it can be stopping insisting on projects you know have no future, but that you maintain out of pride. Stopping seeking promotions in companies where you don't see yourself in 5 years. Having courage to admit that an entire career no longer makes sense for who you've become. Unrealistic expectations are also a fertile field for this training. Letting go of the idea that your life should be at a certain point at 30, 40, or 50 years old. Abandoning the fantasy that your parents will understand you completely. Letting go of the hope that that person from the past will come back to apologize. Even small mental habits can be exercises in letting go. Stopping looking at profiles of people who are no longer part of your life. Not immediately responding to all messages. Creating space to hear your own needs. Each gesture, however small it may seem, creates a solid foundation for great liberations. Lao Tzu lived thousands of years ago, but his words about letting go sound as if they were written yesterday. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but discovered that true strength wasn't in maintaining power, but in accepting its transience. Buddha left a palace to realize that true wealth is not needing anything. Men so different reach the same conclusion. True wisdom isn't in accumulating, conquering, or holding, but in deeply understanding the art of letting go. They understood that inner silence doesn't come from having all the answers, but from making peace with unanswered questions. The wise person isn't one who never loses, but who knows how to lose without losing themselves in the process. It's not someone who never suffers, but who doesn't confuse themselves with their own suffering. It's not someone who has control over everything, but who finds serenity precisely in accepting what's beyond their reach. The wise person's strength is silent. They don't need to prove anything to anyone, because they don't depend on external approval. It's a strength that comes from within, built over years letting go of what doesn't serve, keeping only the essential. It's like a tree that grows strong not because it resists the winds, but because it learned to dance with them. This serenity isn't passivity or conformism. It's an active, conscious, and chosen peace. It's knowing you can face any loss because you learned that your essence can't be taken by anything external. It's discovering you're much greater than anything you could lose, and much more resilient than any pain you could feel. This is the silent strength of the wise. This reflection on letting go is just the beginning. The concepts we explored, Wu Wei, acceptance, presence, are seeds. They can grow and transform your way of living in ways you can't even imagine. True freedom isn't in having, but in letting go. When you finally let go, you discover that nothing was ever missing. Just space to be who you really are.